I'm waiting for my notification to come up on my phone so that I can see when people join and any comments that they might have. And there we go. So I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts. And when you bring it up on your phone, it will look like this. But if you turn your phone this way, sorry, you get a better, okay, I'm gonna get this. So when you bring it up on your phone, it's like this. If you turn your phone this way, you can get a picture, a bigger picture of what we're doing in the table. I'm gonna turn mine the other way so I can see who all is here. So Joanna's here. Hi, Joanna. And if you guys like this craft, please SHARE to your page and tag your friends who might like to see a craft like this. I would appreciate it if you could like and follow Liz's craft page. Today we are going to make this little garland here with a cross that has gold leaf on it. Turn my phone down a little bit. And then a cloth tassel. And we're going to do this one in red. Oh, this one here was done in the apple barrel Caribbean color. So I have Folk Art Calico Red. That's what we're going to be using to color the beads and the cross on this one. Now the cross is just one from the Dollar Tree. So you want to cut your tags off and take your hanger off. And we're going to start out with painting the cross red so it'll have time to dry. My red's a little thinned out because I had used it for something else, and it was very, I don't know, it's old anyway, and I just watered it down some. So we're probably going to put a couple coats on the cross itself. So you want to make sure you get the indentations where the cross pieces come together, and then your corners. You want to paint the front side, the back side, and the edges. So how is everyone today? It's really nice here in Texas. Not too hot, not too cold. I'm loving it. We went to chapel this morning. There was a new chaplain. In fact, he said he was new to the military. He said he just joined the military in January. But he's not new to being a preacher, was my understanding. Okay, so I have the front side done and the edges pretty much done. And then I'm just going to lay it down and get the back side. And then we're going to color our beads. So I have two different size beads. I have these large white ones that came on another garland that I've been using. It was from a garland from the 4th of July that Hobby Lobby had that had red and blue pom-poms on it, and then these white balls, white wood beads. And then we're going to use these, which are just plain wood. They haven't been painted or anything, but we're going to paint them. And you can see the size difference in those. And we will be using, I believe, 18 of each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yes, 18 of each. I'm just going to set this aside for now, and then we're going to go ahead and paint our wood beads. Now this is already watered down quite a bit, so I'm just going to put my beads in there. I'm sorry if this is a little loud. I just want to make sure that my beads are fully covered. See how quick that was? So this is just a good way to color your beads very quickly. And hopefully without a lot of mess. And then I just have this stake here that was off of one of the Dollar Tree signs, garden signs that you put out in your garden. One of those metal ones that I had cut off of the pumpkin or whatever it was. And I'm putting about 5 of these beads in here at a time. I think I got 6 this time, but as you can see, look how quickly they painted these. Isn't that awesome? I love this. This is pretty awesome, guys. Just a really good way to paint your beads quickly and hopefully without a lot of mess. So I'm not even touching these. I'm putting my metal rod through the hole on the beads and then scooping it with the cup, the side of the cup. Okay, and then I'm just putting them in my bucket here to let them drip, and then I need to clean this up. I don't want to get paint everywhere. Now we have a few more beads to do, so I'm going to put those in here. Okay, so we have 4. So I must have had, let's see, 5, 6 is 11, 11 and 4 is 15. I must have had 15 beads. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put the last beads on here. Right, here we go. I see that this one, probably because I touched it with my brush, is not looking as pretty as the others. And 2, they'll kind of drip and they'll make like a little puddle underneath. So you kind of want to wipe that down a little bit. So there we have our beads, and we'll just set those on the bucket there to get dry. And then you want to go back to your cross, and we want to put that next coat on our cross. Now, if your paint was thicker, you would just add a little bit of water from your sink. Nothing special. Just wanted to water it down and make it pretty liquidy. Is that a word, liquidy? So did anybody else attend church in person today? Or are you still getting it online? Okay, so I'm just going to take my heat gun on this just to speed up the process. That looks pretty good, and I'm going to flip this over. Got a little bit of my paper stuck to it, so I'm just scraping that off with a popsicle stick. And then I'm going to add another coat to the front side here. And I'm not going to worry about the sides too much. I'm not going to put 2 coats on it, but there was a spot there that I missed. Just touching up the sides a little bit. And then I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to dry this. Joanne says they're doing both now, in person with masks, etc., and filming on Facebook. That's what we're doing too. Okay, so that's pretty much dry. So we're just going to set that aside for a little bit. And wipe this paint off my fingers. And then we're going to do our material. So what we have here is, these are the strips from Walmart. So you get them where there are two packages, not 2 packages, but 2 sections. And I believe you get 4 of each strip. So we only need to use 2 strips, and I'm going to use 2 different coordinating fabrics. What I have is the stripes, and then I have this paisley. I think it's some kind of paisley anyway. I'm going to cut this in half at the top, and then I'm going to cut these into strips for my tassel. And an easy way to do that is you just take your piece, you fold it once, fold it twice, fold it 3 times. I wouldn't do any more than 3. And then you're just going to cut thin strips. or the size strips that you want for your tassel. And they don't have to all be the same width. We have our strips for our for these lines. We're going to do the other half of it. So again, I'm just going to fold it 4 times or 3 times. And then I'm just going to cut my strips. Okay, so we have all of the striped ones done, and now we're going to do the paisley ones. So again, I'm folding it in half once, twice, and 3 times. And you want a good pair of scissors while you're doing this. Good piece of, a good material scissors. And then what you want to do is take a piece of one of them. Wait, let me make sure. Do I need to cut this again? No. Okay. So I would do a striped one, and then I would do a paisley one. And then I would do a striped one and a paisley one. And I would just keep doing that until I have all of them laid out. And the strips that you get from Walmart are usually 42 inches long and 2.5 inches wide if you want to cut your own material. I kind of like these because they already have the coordinating fabrics, and they all look great together. So I like going ahead and buying them like this, and then you can just cut them the size that you need. So again, I'm just alternating my layering, a striped one and a paisley one, until I get them all together. Hi Diane, how are you today? Oops, time for a striped one. And it doesn't matter if the ends are completely, you know, even with each other, because we're going to trim them up. Or you can leave them as is if you like them to be different sizes. That's fine too. Just remember to do it in the colors that you like. And I must have, oh, I know what it was. I think I cut one extra strip out of this color, the paisley. But I started with a striped one, so I'll just put this on the bottom. Okay. And then you want to put these in half. Let's see. That seems awful long. Well, maybe this is going to be a long test. I don't quite remember because I did it like a week or so ago. Well, anyway, I'm going to cut a piece of my jute here, and this is just some jute that I got from the Dollar Tree. Oh, Erica said she used a pack of these strips for Kaylin's Barbie house. Cool. Let me untangle this, and I might use a bigger piece and go ahead and string the beads on it. So I'm just going to slip this underneath where the middle section is, right here, and I'm going to tie a knot, and I'm going to tie it tight. Okay, I'm going to take the end of this because I want to go ahead and wrap the piece right here. And what I want to do is take a loop, not too big of a loop, but just a loop towards the end. Okay, let me fix this because I want my material to be facing out. Okay. So I'm going to take the loop. I want to make sure that okay, that's out there. And then I'm going to start just wrapping around over top of the loop, but leaving the loop hanging down, if that makes sense, I hope. So I'm just going to go around my piece. And I'm leaving the top of the end of the string I'm wrapping up at the top, and then your loop down at the bottom. And I'm wrapping over top of the loop. So I'm just going to wrap this several times, and I'm going to do it tightly. Not extremely tight, but tight enough. I see a part I missed right here, so I'm going to go back over it. Okay, just wrapping. All right, now that I've got to the end, I'm sticking it through the loop, I'm holding onto the end, and then I'm pulling the other end. So then the other end, as I'm pulling, it pulls the loop up into where we wrapped. So all you have is this little piece sticking out, and you can cut that off, and then you cut off this top piece. So you don't have to do any knots or anything like that. And then this is, I don't really want it this long, and I think what I must have done was doubled this one over because it's a whole lot thicker than this one, as you can see. So I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. I'll make it longer than the blue one there. think I want to trim it up about right here. But again, you can make it any length that you want, any thickness that you want. Okay. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, so we have our tassel, and then we want to do our beads. Now again, I want to take my brush and I'm going to go over, because these get a little like circular spot on them where they drip off, and I don't want a lot of that showing. And then I'll also take my heat gun and dry them a bit. Okay, those aren't exactly dry yet, but we need to move on to our cross. And what you're going to do is take your hot glue and you're just going to put a line of glue from the hole where your hanger was down to almost the bottom. You don't want to go all the way to the bottom, but down to it. And then you want to put another line of glue on either side of that. So you're putting 3 lines of glue. And my glue gun doesn't seem to want to work with me. Okay, so you have that in the center, and then you want to do the arms of the cross, and you don't want to take it all the way to the end. You want to get it close, but not all the way. And again, you want to do like 3 lines of the glue, and you want to do this on either side, and try to keep your glue where it lines up, where the sides line up. And it's going to look like this. So you're going to set that aside to dry while we continue on with our beading. Where is, did I cut the wrong thing off? Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to have to redo this, because I don't know where the other end. I don't know where the other end is to my my jute. Ah, there it is. Okay. So really you want this to be on the top. okay? Because this is where we're going to hang our beads. So you want this to be on the top. Now I'm going to get another piece of my jute and do the wrapping again. So again, I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to put the loop so it hangs down towards the end of your material, and then I'm taking the other piece and I'm wrapping it around the loop, leaving the end of the jute right here. And you want to try to get this tight, but I mean, you don't have to do it extremely tight. Okay, so that's enough of the wrapping that I want. So I'm going to take my end and I'm going to put it down through the loop, down into it, and then bring it out. Then I'm going to pull both ends. Actually, I'm going to pull this top end. And as I pull that, it's taking the loop up underneath our wrap. And then you can cut both ends off. And as I said, there's no need to tie it in a knot. Okay, so we have that, and then we have our string here. So we want to start stringing our beads. If you're happy with the length of your tassel, I think I'm going to trim it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to start stringing my beads. So I want to see how long I want to have my rope, my jute. And then I want to add a little bit. So let's see, 1, 2, so it's about 3 arm lengths long. I have my white beads and I have my red beads. And let's see if they're dry. Okay, I need to dry it just a little bit more. Okay. Got a little bit of paint on my fingers. I'm going to wipe that off so I don't get it on my material. And then I'm going to see if, okay, so this is dry right now. And we want to go ahead and put our size on there. So we have from a Maker Studio, this gilding size. It is 2 ounces, and a little bit goes a long way. And it says not to get it on your skin, so you probably want to wear gloves. I do not have gloves on. And then you're just taking a small brush, paintbrush, and then we're just painting this onto the top and the sides of where we put the hot glue. So we're just putting it all around it. And then this is going to have to sit for a little while until it gets sticky. So as you put it on, it's going to be white. And then as it starts to get sticky, it'll turn clear. So we want to put this all on all parts of our glue that we put on the cross. So I'm putting it on the sides, making sure that I get all of the glue painted with the gilding size. Now you can't really use any other kind of glue with this. You really need to use the gilding size that you can get from a maker studio. And you can also get the gold leaf, which is imitation gold leaf, or you can get silver, or you can get copper. So they have 3 different choices on that. And I did put the links to the gilding size and the gold leaf in the description. And when I get off, I'll put them in the comments. Okay, so I'm just making sure that it's all over my glue, because that's where I want the gold. So if you can see that, that's the white gilding size. And then as it gets sticky, it'll turn clear. Now this is, 2 ounces is not very much, but it lasts a long time. And to the gold leaf, you get 25 of these sheets in a pack. So they last a pretty good long time too. Just remember though that if you have a fan where you're working, you want to turn that off while you're working with this, because it's thin and it'll blow all over the place. So now we're going to go on to stringing our beads. And I want to do the smaller beads first. So I'm going to do a red and then a white, a red and a white. And I'll just go ahead and put this end of the jute, if it'll go in there, in the beads as I'm putting them on. Yeah, it won't go. I'm not going to worry about it. So if you need to, you can put a little bit of hot glue on the end of your jute, and it will help with the stringing of your beads. But these beads here have pretty big holes in them, so they're okay. And I see that I dropped one of my beads in the floor. I'll have to pick that up, excuse me. So what does everybody have planned for today? The weather's so beautiful. I was thinking about sitting on the front porch for a while, maybe reading a book or drinking some iced tea, maybe just listening to the birds. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Okay, I'm gonna need my wipe. Getting red paint everywhere. I thought it was dry. Oh, you want to take a walk? Yeah, it's a great day for a walk for sure. Hey Gilda, how are you? So Erica, is Kaylin watching? Definitely a good day for a walk. And I haven't walked for a while. Oh, and maybe take a nap. I know what you mean. It is so hard for me to sleep at night, but then I sit in this red recliner in the living room and I end up taking a nap, which makes it hard to sleep at night, and it's a vicious cycle. How do you stop that? You're so tired, but you end up falling asleep anyway. I mean, how do you get out of it? I know more than one person has to be going through that, like me. Okay, so I might end up having to put some glue on the end of this. Yep. So I'm just putting a little dab of glue on the end, and then I'm going to roll it through my fingers. And I'm just using, I'm using a low heat glue gun this time. So it's not going to give me blisters. Yeah, I don't sleep good anymore either. It takes me forever to get to sleep. And then I wake up. And it takes me forever to get back to sleep. And I don't know. It's just hard. I've tried, what do you call it? Those gummies that are melatonin. They worked a little bit, but I ran out and I didn't buy any more, and I wanted to try to get to sleep without it. So I did have one extra white bead because I want to end and start with a red bead because they're smaller. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 white beads of the bigger ones, and then 15 of the smaller red ones that we dyed. Okay. Now I can wrap this around a few times. I'm just taking the end of this and I'm just wrapping it around the top here, and then I'm going to glue it down. You could just cut it off. I just kind of like the look of it wrapped around, but like I said, it's not necessary. You could just cut it off. So, I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. I'm going to speed up the drying time on this. I'm going to use my heat gun on it. I did try that before and it did work. So I'm going to move this out of the way and get my heat gun out. Normally, you would wait 15 minutes for this to come to tack, and then you could use the gold leaf on it. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit with my heat gun. You don't want to get too close to it because it'll melt your glue. And you don't want to get the gilding size on your fingers either, because what'll happen is the gold leaf will stick to your fingers and not your project. Okay, I'm just going to wait a little bit. Let's see. It's a little bit sticky, but I'm just going to wait just a little bit. I'm going to wave it around a little bit. You too, Joanne? I know, it's hard. I've tried going to bed early. I've tried going to bed late. I've tried just about everything. Now I do have some gold leaf that I had left over from where, what was I doing? Oh, from doing the last candy corn. So I do have some big pieces of gold leaf left over. So I will probably use those for my cross. But you can definitely use a whole sheet if you want. And this piece here is folded over. But you can use a whole sheet if you want to. But I like to use my leftovers. And I'm just going to take a piece of it and see if this is ready. So I'm just placing it on top of it, and I'm just kind of pressing it down a little bit. And I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to continue on. So I just have these strips, these pieces from the other project, and I'm just laying it on top and then patting it down. So this is what it looks like. So I'm just patting it down. And I want to make sure that it goes around the glue, not just on top of it, but around it too. Okay, and I think I just need one more piece, just for the bottom right here. And, okay. And I just see a little spot here on the side that I kind of missed. So I just want to find a little piece. Yeah, I could pull this off. I'll just pull this off right here. And put it right there. Right there. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I have. So this is what I have right now. Now I'm going to take one of these sheets, and this is just the sheets that separate your gold leaf from each piece. And I'm going to put it into a ball, and then I'm just going to, they call this burnishing. So basically you're just rubbing this down on there. You're just rubbing your gold leaf down onto your glue. And it's getting these extra pieces off of it too. But you're also smoothing it down onto the glue. And then you'll take just a chip brush. So this is just an old chip brush that I have. And then you're going to clean this up a little bit. And you should be able to take off any of the gold leaf that didn't have any gilding size down. So if you did get some of your gilding size onto your red cross, then of course it's going to stick to it. So that's what happened here. So we do have some pieces where it's stuck to the actual cross itself. But that's okay. I think it turned out pretty good. This is what we have. Yay. And now we can just sweep this up with our brush. Just little itty bitty tiny pieces. You can either save that or put it in the trash. This is not that expensive. Like I said, you get 25 sheets of the gold leaf, and I think it's like $8.50 or something like that. But on two of the candy corns I just used bits and pieces, and they turned out nice. So let me put my lid on. Move this aside, and I want to attach my cross to my tassel or to my garland. And these are good, like you can put these in baskets where you have other items. You can put them around your lamps, just, you know, wherever you want. I put one of them on the speaker for the cable box, and just had it hanging. So just wherever you want to hang it is fine. Now this hole is a little closed up, so I'm just taking my tool here, and you can do this with the end of a pair of sharp scissors. I'm just doing it so that I can get my my jute through it. And I'm just putting my jute through that, and then I'm going to tie this off. So I'm just going to do a regular knot. And I want to make sure that it stays at the top of the cross. I don't want it to fall on the side or underneath. So I'm probably going to tie it about 3 times, and then I'm going to wrap it around it. So I put it so that my knot here was right at the very top, right there in the center. And then I'm just going to wrap my rope around it several times. I mean, you don't need to do this part. You can cut it if you want. It's fine. I just kind of like the looks of this. So after I wrap it, then I'm going to go through, and I'm going to try to do it in the back so that you can't see it from the front. I'm going to thread it through the loop that's on the cross, and then I'm going to take my end through that loop, and I'm going to make a knot. So I'll probably do this 3 times. It's kind of like a half knot, I guess. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut the end off. Let me make sure I have it tight. Okay. Oh, okay. Joanna, you can fall asleep, you just can't stay asleep. Yeah, I can't do any of that. Can't. It takes me forever to fall asleep, and then I wake up throughout the night. Okay, so this is what we have, and I'm going to show you the blue one again. So this was Caribbean Blue acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. You can get it for 50 cents at Walmart. The tassel was those material strips from Walmart, and the cross was from the Dollar Tree. And of course the gilding size and the gold leaf was from a maker studio, and the beads were kind of from all over. So we have the blue one, and now we have this red one. And again, you can make your tassel as thin or thick, as long or short as you want. This one's a longer, thinner one, and this one's a shorter, thicker one. But here's our crosses. Now this one, I did put the gilding size and the gold leaf at the top. I decided not to do that with this one. I think I like this one better. So again, like I said, you can just put these around your lamps. You can put this in a basket where you have other items in and just kind of have this laying over it. I mean, there's just different things that you can do it. You could put it in a tier tray with other items. But I just thought this was a neat little project, and I just love the way the crosses turned out with the gold leaf. So if you like this project and this video, please feel free to sprinkle so that others can see it, and Facebook will say, hey, you know, people like her stuff. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't already followed and liked Liz's craft page, I would appreciate you doing that too. I would take a picture of these and put it out there on Liz's craft page. And if you guys make crafts, please feel free to post pictures of what you make on Liz's craft page. I would love to see what you all come up with. And I also put my videos on YouTube, and if you want to see any of the past videos, all you have to do is go to Liz's craft page and go to the video section, and then you can pick which video you want to watch. So just remember, you can always watch the replay. And if you do watch a replay, just type replay in the comments. That just lets me know that, hey, you know, people are watching the replays. So I will be back here tomorrow, and I will have another craft for you. Not exactly sure what it's going to be yet, but I'll have something for you, and we'll be on at 11:30 Central Time. So until then, keep crafting. Love you guys.